Okay, good morning everyone. So again, this is Teacher Malu for Mathematics 5, Quarter 1, Week 7. And for today's lesson, we're going to discuss solve word problems involving multiplication of addition or subtraction of fractions and whole numbers. And we have the objective. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to solve routine or non-routine problems involving multiplication of fractions or subtraction of fractions and whole numbers using appropriate problem-solving strategies and tools. Okay, so let us multiply the given numbers. For number 1, we have 2 times 1/3. Okay, I will give you time to answer this. Okay, so let us check your answer. The answer is 2 and 2/3. So do you think your answer is the same? Okay, very good. Let's move on to number 2. So now number 2 is 5 times 1/8. Okay, okay, so what is the answer? We have 5 times 8. So we have to multiply 5 times 1 equals 5. And then 1. So this is 5 over 1. So 5 times, I'm sorry, 1 times 8 is 8. So we have 5, 8. Okay, next number 3. We have 4 times 2/3. Okay, so the answer is 8 and 3. 8 or 8 third. Okay, so we have 4 times 2, we have 8, and then we will copy 3, or this is multiplied by 1 times 3, so the answer is 3. But this is an improper fraction, so we have to simplify the answer. Okay, so that is 2 and 2/3. So how did we get this answer? So we multiply or we divide 8 by 3. So 3 divide 8, so we have 2 and the remainder is 2, and then we will copy the denominator, which is 3. Next, number 4. So we have 1/3 times 1/8. Okay, so it's time for you to answer this. Okay, so we have 1 over 24 or 1/24. Okay, so we have, how do we get this answer? So we have 1 times 1, we have 1. And then 3 times 8 is 24. Okay, if the numerator is 1, that is already simplified. Okay, so that is the answer, 1 over 24. Okay, next, let's move on to the last number. We have 2/3 times 1/5. Okay, so time to answer. Okay, so we will follow the same procedure. So we multiply the numerator and then the denominator. So we have 2 times 1 and 3 times 5. So the answer is, when we multiply 2 times 1, the answer is 2. And 3 times 5, the answer is 15. Okay, so did you get it, class? Okay, very good. Now I have here a problem. So we have the problem number 1. Maria's carinderia. Her daily budget is 2,500. She allots 2/5 of the money for the purchase of meat and 1/5 of the money for vegetables and the rest for fish and other ingredients. How much is allotted for buying fish and other ingredients? Okay, so in solving this, we have the two categories of problem solving. First, we have the routine problem solving, and then we have the non-routine. Okay, now when we say routine, that is involves or problem solving that involves using at least one of the four arithmetic operations or ratio to solve word problems that are practical in nature involve series of steps. And what are the series of steps? So we use the four steps of Polya's problem solving. So we have the understand. Okay, under understand we have know what is asked in the given facts. And then next is plan. Next step is plan. Then determine the operations to be used and write the number sentence. And the third step is solve. Okay, solve the number sentence. And we have the look back, write, check, and interpret your answer. So next we have the non-routine. So when we say non-routine, that is, it is any complex problem that requires some degree of creativity or originality to solve. And there are strategies in solving non-routine word problems. So first, we have diagram patterns. We have the listing or table method. The third one is we have the guessing test. And then the last one is drawing or making diagram. Okay, now let us go back to the problem number one. Maria's carinderia. Her daily budget is 2,500. She allots 2/5 of the money for the purchase of meat and 1/5 of the money for vegetables, and the rest for fish and other ingredients. How much is allotted for buying vegetables, fish, and other ingredients? Okay, so we have the first step, which is understand. Okay, and then what is asked is the amount allotted for buying vegetables, fish, and other ingredients. And then the given facts, we have she allots 2/5 of money for buying meat and 1/5 for buying vegetables and the rest for fish and other ingredients. Okay, now let's move on to plan. So in planning, we have the operation. And what are the operations to be used in solving the problem number one? We have multiplication and addition. And we have this number sentence. We have n is equals to 2,500 times, open parenthesis, 1/5 plus 2p. Okay, so let us now solve the problem. So we have here the representation of the budget, which is 2/5, and that is 2/5 for the meat, and then 1/5 for the vegetables, and then the rest is for fish and other ingredients. Okay, so let us now solve. So we have the this representation. Okay, so we have this representation. This is for the budget of 2,500, and then we have the 2/5. Okay, so for the meat, and then 1, 2, 3 for the vegetables, fish, and other ingredients. So how are we going to solve this problem? So we have the 2,500 times. This is actually what we are going to solve. So we have the 3/5 is equals to, when we multiply 2,500 times 3, we have 7,500. And then 2,500 times 5, the answer is, I'm sorry, 1 times 5 is equals to 5. So let us now simplify. So 7,500 divided by 5, the answer is 1,500. Okay, so that means that for every portion of this 2,500 as a whole, we have for each part, we have 500 and 500 for the meat, which is the 2/5, and then 1/5 for the vegetables, and then 2/5 is the for fish and other ingredients. And but the question is the fish, vegetable, fish, and other ingredients. So we have 3/5. So that means 1,500 is allotted for vegetables, fish, and other ingredients, as we had solved for a while ago. Okay, so let us move on to problem number 2. So we have 5/8 of the entire grade 5 batch for this year are girls. If there are 480 grade 5 students, how many are girls? Okay, so the same, we will have to follow the steps. We have understand what is asked and what are given. We have plan, operation to be used, and the number sentence, and then solve. Yeah, solution and final answer. And we have the look back, which is check your answer correct. Okay, so let us have the first step, which is understand. What is asked? Okay, for this problem number 2, the problem is, or what is asked is the total number of girls in the entire grade 5 batch for this school year. And what are given? We have 5/8 of the entire grade 5 are girls and 480 grade 5 students. Okay, let us now solve. So we have 480 times 5/8. Okay, so 480 times 5/8. So we have to cancel 480 and then 8 because they have the same or common numbers. So when we divide 8 by 8, we have 1. And then 480 divide 8, we have 60. So let us multiply. 60 times 5, we have 300 over 1. Because when we multiply 6 times 5, we have 300. And 1 times 1, we have 1. So the answer is 300. So therefore, there were 300 girls in the entire grade 5 batch for this school year. Okay, so reminders, children, that there are two categories of problem solving. We have the routine word problem that involves using at least one of the four arithmetic operations or ratio to solve problems that are practical in nature, and it involves series of steps. While the non-routine, it is any complex problem that requires some degree of creativity or originality to solve. Okay, this time it's your turn to answer the learning task in your self-learning modules for Mathematics 5 Quarter 1, Week 7. So again, this is Teacher Malu